When it comes to accessible, team-based tactical shooters, the first games you will more than likely think of will be Squad or Hell Let Loose. Squad is by far at the forefront of this genre if you prefer the modern theatre, and rightly so, as it has been around since 2015, with its roots filtering all the way back to Project Reality and Battlefield 2. Hell Let Loose found its market through being set in World War II, and again has been around for quite some time. Over the past few years, the team-based tactical shooter genre has grown in size and popularity massively, especially when a lot of people have realised that you don't need to be a full-blown milsimmer to enjoy and play these types of games. Both of the titles I mentioned before are a great example of bringing this category to the masses, and Hell Let Loose managed to make it work on console as well. This just shows that people love the idea of working with 49 or more other idiots who they have no clue who they are, but with them, you pop skulls. You get blown up.
Have no fear, charge is here!
Oh, he headshot me with the main gun, set me off the map.
Same.
You watch a tank get obliterated by an airstrike.
It could be a tornado. Oh no, it's dead. Okay.
You crack some jokes, or you just get involved in the staging shenanigans. As it stands, Hell Let Loose is currently setting itself on fire update after update since Team 17 took to the wheel, and Squad is currently undergoing a monumental change in the shape of the infantry combat overhaul, which, depending on how it comes out, will be absolutely pivotal for that game, and already has divided people's opinions. So with a somewhat bit of uncertainty and change in the air from these two titans, a lot of people have been wondering, other than Arma 3, which is the equivalent of DCS World in the FPS genre, with its 500,000 keybinds and mods, what other alternatives are either on the market or in development? And that's what we're going to dive into in today's video. Because over the past few years, I've been keeping a somewhat close eye on a few games that might be right up your street. But before we do get into it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm so close to 20,000 subs, I can almost taste it. Okay, so first up, one of the games I've been keeping a very close eye on is Burning Lands. Burning Lands is set in the theatre of the Vietnam War and classes itself as an accessible tactical simulation. It is currently being developed on the Unreal 5 engine and will be a unique 60 versus 60 player versus player experience with plenty of infantry roles to choose from, as well as a whole bunch of vehicles, boats, and helicopters to assist you and your team to victory. The developers of Burning Lands, 0 Hour Interactive, were the ones who created the Australian faction on Squad, formerly known as the Aussie mod. So these guys certainly have a good history behind them and more than likely will find a way to sprinkle in some familiarity into this, which will probably help hook a few players who've played Squad in the past. Right now, Burning Lands have announced their Kickstarter campaign, which should be launching pretty soon, I would imagine, and will be a game that I will be backing personally myself. They have shown off bits of gameplay here and there, including some demonstrations of their helicopter flight model, which will have full HOTAS and track IR support, and not too long ago some gameplay has been published. And whilst it's not finished and a few features are missing, you can certainly see where they're going with this. However, if the Vietnam War isn't your thing, then how about the Cold War gone hot? After Conflict is just that. Set in the very early 1990s and based around the remnants of NATO and Warsaw Pact, this game is being set up on their own custom engine, but has some incredibly detailed vehicle and weapon models from factions such as Yugoslavia, Czechoslovakia, the Soviet Union, East Germany, West Germany, USA, and Great Britain. Again, this game is in an early state, but early access doesn't seem to be too far away. The developers have been pushing regular updates and their end goal is to have teams that will be 50 versus 50. It looks like they will have some really in-depth mechanics, especially for infantry gameplay with things like weapon jamming, blind firing, foldable stocks, different types of usable ammunition, and some weapon customization. Now, if you aren't bothered what your game looks like, and you miss the old Battlefield style gameplay that was chaotic, action-packed, and straight to the point, then Battlebit Remastered may be the game for you. Battlebit seems to have managed to take elements from Battlefield, Squad, and Project Reality and merge them into one to make their own unique experience, and it is currently taking the market by storm. Whilst it may look like Minecraft for dads, don't let that fool you. The gameplay is extremely engaging and really sucks you in, with full weapon customization, ground vehicles and helicopters on a fully destructive environment, and 256 player servers. It's no wonder this game is so popular right now. On top of all this though, you can run it on a literal potato, unlike most games in this category that pushes everyone's PCs to its absolute limit. Now for a few games that are already out and worth a look in, I'm going to start off with an oldie, but it is completely free and where Squad originated from, and that is Project Reality. Anyone who's played Squad before will instantly have a sense of deja vu. From the maps, the general running simulator, having Squad lead dumped on you, or being kicked for not having a mic, and the random racist dude in staging. Granted, it's on an old engine and it's nowhere near as polished as what you get these days. If you can look past that, the gameplay is absolutely solid. It's simple when you strip it down. Gunplay is fun, there's a whole bunch of different factions and weapons. There's tanks, jets, helicopters, artillery, bloody quad bikes. Finding a server where people actually speak and give you a chance for being a newer player really does help elevate the experience, but honestly, it's really worth a go, even if it's just to reminisce about how games used to be. Whilst keeping things free, if you do prefer World War II, Enlisted is honestly a great game to play. Made by Gaijin, who's probably more commonly known for making War Thunder, they've actually done a really good job of this. There's quite a few theatres to choose from. You've got the Battle of Moscow, Invasion of Normandy, Battle of Berlin, Battle of Stalingrad, Battle of Tunisia, and the Pacific War. Now, where this differs from others here is in Enlisted, you generally play as your squad leader and your squad is made up from AI, but you can switch between them as and when you please or when you get shot. You can also choose between 15 versus 15, 30 versus 30, or 50 versus 50. And on top of all of this, you get to use a whole host of different tanks and aircraft, and is available on all platforms. Now, before I do go drawing this video to a close, there are a few games I feel deserve an honourable mention despite not being large-scale shooters. Ground Branch and Ready or Not are two games that I highly recommend you check out if you haven't already. The gunplay in these games is on another level, and Ready or Not especially has an incredibly immersive environment. Both offer great weapon customization and give you PTSD in their own unique way. And finally, 6 Days in Fallujah. Despite being somewhat a technical demo right now, it already offers a completely unique experience and really does portray a picture of the horrors of Fallujah. The environment is incredibly detailed and the missions already available really push you through your paces, and the VoIP system that has been implemented fantastically. And there you have it, a few games to stick on your Steam wishlist and a few games to try out. What games would you recommend me to try out? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you all for watching, take care, and I'll catch you in the next video.